Hey guys, welcome to my Q&A. Today we're on the roof of my house, which is just lovely. I love being on roofs and being up high. So I put up a bunch of questions on my Instagram story and I thought, why not do a little Q&A and we'll answer them now, since I've never done this kind of thing on my YouTube channel. The first question I got is, what shocked you the most about India when you first started living here? You know, prior to coming to India, there was this rose lens that I had about the whole place that I got from Autobiography of a Yogi, which is one of my favorite books. And you know, in that book it talked about all of the miracles and spiritual masters and everything that you'd find there, and I really saw it as like the ultimate mystical place. But spending time there, I found it has that 100%, and that's awesome. But there's also another side to it, which also has a lot of issues and a lot of trouble, and that's probably what I found to be the most shocking, because it was so different that from this fantasized idea that I had from reading that book. The next question actually is, what have you been reading recently? And recently I've been interested in a couple different books. I started reading this book called You Can Heal Anyone by Frederick Dodson. That's been really good, but I've just started the first chapter, but the first chapter's been really good. Aside from that, I've also just picked up Super Gut by Dr. Davis, because my mom is a master of all of this gut stuff and she got me into that. But those are the two books I would say that I'm currently exploring. Are you planning to be in India permanently? No, but India is always going to be a home for me. I can't describe it. I've been to so many different countries, and you know, this used to be a big predicament of mine in my early 20s. It's crazy, I'm saying early 20s now. I mean, I've just turned 25, so technically I could be like, oh yeah, in my early 20s. I'm sounding like an old man. But yeah, in my early 20s, when I started traveling, I've been to like many different countries, and I loved it in a lot of places, but I never found myself settling down properly. You know, I lived a year in Finland, I spent a good amount of time in Bali, Mexico, a lot of different places. But once I landed in India and I smelled that muddy smell that you smell at the Mumbai airport, there was this weird nostalgic feeling that just felt like I was home. And I get that every single time at the Bombay airport. So India is always going to be a home for me, as well as America, because America is where I grew up. So I'll probably be in America in the future, but India is always going to be another home. How do you stay consistent with your meditation and spirituality? Who says I am? I think that's like a constant ebb and flow of things. I think the most important thing is to just get over like this resistance that you have to it, or like a urge to not do it, and this internal battle with it. Because as long as you have that internal battle, it feels like something you have to get over procrastination to do. But it's not like that. It's just supposed to be something enjoyable, you know, something that gives life to you and makes your life so much better. So how do I stay consistent? It's just that I enjoy it. That's really all there is to it. It's not something that I do for a productivity hack. It's just because I simply enjoy it. So that's how I stay consistent with it. But that means some days I don't meditate, because that's fine. But because it's out of enjoyment, that's where it's coming from. So yeah, that's what I can say. What was the most major adjustment you had to go through after moving to Mumbai? A lot of questions about India here. I guess people are just curious, but I would say the most major adjustment that I had moving to Bombay was my athletic life. Ever since I was young, I always loved athletics. First it was ice hockey, but once I retired that sport, I found bouldering, rock climbing, and I fell in love with that. And that had been my thing for years until I shifted to Mumbai. They don't really have that there. So I really struggled with that. When I first started moving there, I just didn't work out. I tried a ton of different sports though, but I couldn't get myself to enjoy any of them. Not like I did with rock climbing or ice hockey. So then finally I learned I had to bite the bullet and just do weight training. So I did that, and that was great. But I've recently found calisthenics, and I feel like I might be able to get into that. So that was the hardest adjustment, because that actually took a lot for me to figure out. And to be honest, I'm still kind of figuring that one out. What's at the top of your bucket list which you want to do before you leave this world? It's weird. I don't have these like big things if I want to jump out of a plane and things like that. So I really have to think about that. I think it's more a vague thing of, if I left this world knowing that I was able to help people and love people as much as I possibly could, then I would certainly be happy. But I don't necessarily have something of like adrenaline crazy thing to do first. Career advice for someone who has no idea what they want in life. I would say, if you don't know what you want, you have to figure out what you want, and then you do what you like. So maybe I'm just really oversimplifying this, but first you should try a bunch of things and figure out what really excites you. Once you find out what excites you, that's the key. Then you follow it, you jump into it wholeheartedly until you start making money with it. And yeah, you just don't stop, because your career is your life, pretty much. Well, your career isn't your life, but it's a big chunk of your life. And if you don't enjoy it, better find a way to enjoy it. Otherwise, a big chunk of your life isn't enjoyable. Whew, the breeze is getting a little chilly. There's like little raindrops that are coming. But all right, the next question is, what do you do for a living? I've been getting this question all of the time. It's not supposed to be that mysterious. You can do a simple Google search, or if you've watched some of my other videos, I briefly spoke about it. For the longest time, I ran a music production software business called Rocket Powered Sound, but that business was acquired. So as of lately, I've more been exploring and working on some new projects to find what's next. And the next question is another question that I get a lot, which is, why don't you like shirts? It's not that I don't like shirts, it's just, it's more freeing to be without one. Growing up, maybe it's an American thing, I don't know. I just never wore a shirt. I never liked it. I always just wanted to be shirtless, and I'm still that way. I don't know. That's pretty much all there is to it. I guess I never thought much of it, but then once I started being in different places, especially India, where it's so much more conservative. I remember going to Varsova Beach, and I was the only person there who wasn't wearing a shirt, and it was so disorienting, because like beach culture is so different literally everywhere else I've been. But yeah, that's your answer. I like to be a little bit more loose, a little bit more free. And with that, that is the end of my Q&A, guys. It's actually starting to rain a little bit more here, but I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I sincerely do, and I hope that I answered maybe some of the questions you had. And I'll see you in a couple days for my next one. Peace out.